What's going on, Internet? The Black Hokage here, aka TBH, and to be honest, I'd like to welcome you guys back to the Game Illuminati podcast. We are the Enlightened Gamers, and we're about to shine on episode 109. If you're watching the video version, know this show is available on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and all other major podcast platforms. Before we get into the show, I'd like to remind everyone to rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Your 5-star rating helps us move up the algorithm. Now let me introduce you to my co-host, the first of which is rocking the fade instead of the baldy these days because he's fading folks on Twitter who beef with him. But they too pussy to say it to me. UTXJJ the Don, say what up to the people.
Shame. RIP a desperate man today. That's all I have to say.
And my second co-host, he's supposed to be from Detroit, but we don't know where he at right now. So we got a stand-in. We got LA Chaos. He's the one that he's part of the stream team, but he also does a lot of the videos on the GI channel. He's standing in for Ethos because he's in the Lost and Found right now. Chaos, say what up to the people.
What up, everybody? What up? Yeah, I'm glad Ethos is gone, man. I had to get my shine in. So
yeah, tell them about you. What's the name of your anime podcast that you do for GI?
Just some trash podcast called the Taku Summit. Dude, with Steve and JoJo, who also is a part of GI. We've been pretty consistent. We do it every week. Just talk about anime shows, anime news. You know, talk shit.
Yeah, my favorite episode is the one where you guys were talking about your love for Bikini Warriors.
That's funny because we did talk about it.
And our Patreon guest for today, he goes by Melverse. We always appreciate the Patreon backers. Shout out your social medias, whatever you want to do, Mel.
Oh, yes, sir. Hey, how y'all doing today? My name is Mello. You can follow me on Instagram at _actingmellow_, and my Twitter is the same thing. And my YouTube channel is Melverse. It's MELLVERSE.
Hey,
I appreciate it.
There you go. And if you want to be on the next episode, be sure to back us on Patreon at patreon.com/GI updates. Before we get into the conversation, I don't remember whether or not I did it on the last podcast. I'm pretty sure I talked about the Xbox ones, but I don't think the PSN November games were revealed yet. But just in case, on the PS5, you'll get Bug Snacks. I heard it's just absolutely amazing. And then on 4, you get the Shadow of War and Hollow Knight. So those are the free games you get on PSN. All right, starting conversations. Let's talk the PlayStation 5. We can also throw the Xbox Series X in there. I don't know if anybody got one besides me. Kind of first impressions, launch, whatever happened. I'm gonna actually give you the floor on this one, Jay. What are your first impressions of the PlayStation 5 as well as the launch? Like, how do you feel about this launch week, Jay?
I think the launch week was pretty smooth. I didn't really see any crazy issues. I know one of the biggest ones, though, was the fact that for the people who played the remastered version of Spider-Man, they were having issues with saves and with their PS5s bricking. So that wasn't cool. But other than some minor issues, I think that it was pretty smooth. You didn't really see any widespread panic when it came to the PS5. My overall impressions, though, I must say that this has been an easier experience for me. One of the glaring things that you're going to see just right off the bat is going to be the load times. After I got a couple of games loaded, which, by the way, is fast as hell. I think they're pretty much like, the majority of your initial concerns and things that you hated about the PS4 have been addressed hardware-wise and technical-wise. It does not take long to download games. It can finally utilize your internet speed. So if you have fast internet speeds, like T-Bay says all the time, I got gigabit. But if you do, it actually takes full advantage of it. So you can download games so fast now. So that's a huge plus. And then the other thing is, whenever you fully download the game, it takes seconds to load. I would say like it's actually on par, if not a little bit faster than my current rig. I have an M.2, and I still find just, the PS5, it's literally just going to be using the majority of its resources just to load those games. Compared to a PC, which has a plethora of different programs that has to load and compute.
I thought you were about to say dick. I was like, what?
What, nigga?
It sounded like a plethora of dicks. I was like, what are you talking about?
What, man? Chill out. What are you projecting, bro? Get checked. Anyways. No. But like I was saying, compared to the PC, where it has a lot of programs that you have to load every time that you load up your OS. With the PS5, just bringing all of its resources, the majority of its resources, just to load the games and play them. it's super fast. So like it's still going to take me some getting used to. I'm like, wow, like it's really dope. Just seeing how fast that these games load, and when you see them, like I've played 2 games on them so far. I played Godfall, which we'll talk about, but the real thing for me was when I loaded up Miles Morales. Oh my god, actually seeing the game in performance mode, which is what I want to play. I don't really care about fidelity because I don't have a 4K monitor, but you know, for those who do, it's fine. I don't think that too many people really have problems with fidelity, but I already know off the bat, like if I'm going to get a steady 60 FPS, I want to play on performance mode because it just looks gorgeous and plays really good too. So for the the limited amount of games I did play, because honestly the PS5 doesn't really have any launch titles technically, because these games are on other on the last gen
more than the Xbox,
well,
but not a
and
lot.
yeah, barely, and on the PC. But for what it does have, I think that I would say it's really inching closer to the experience that I have been having on the PC, and we have been having on the PC for some years now. It's finally, like, I would say this is the closest so far, and obviously it's still super duper early. We're literally not even one full week in, but it's super duper close to bridging the gap or closing the gap between the consoles and the PCs. I really enjoy those. And I think that the UI is fine. I don't really have too many problems with it. It's a slight thing though when it comes to like putting the game in rest mode. It's you got to go through a couple of more menus just to get to rest mode or turning the PS5 off. But I haven't had any problems so far with like my PS5 having trouble turning back on. So that's also a good thing. I haven't had my PS5 breaking. I put it in rest mode pretty much every time, and I've been able to turn it on, and I haven't had any issues with that. So that's really good as well. The thing is freaking huge, though. It really is like a mini PC. It's like really an ITX tower. It reminds me of the Alienware, one of the first PCs that I actually bought. It's really that big, and it needs to be, because it definitely has some better hardware in here, some more beefier hardware. So they need the extra space. But
what year did you buy an Alienware?
That was 2012, 2013. It was before before we started gaming, like right before.
Damn, so that before you became enlightened. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. For the longest, like I've had PCs in the household, but they've been the standard like compacts or HPs, like nothing that you can really game on. I've never had a gaming PC until I got that. And funny thing, I actually got the Alienware because I was like, I don't have the money to just shell out to get some parts and build my own PC. So I was like, whatever, I'm just going to use a credit card and just buy something. That's why I got an Alienware, because otherwise I wouldn't do it. But I got that to render videos faster, because I was rendering videos on my freaking laptop, and I did not have a beefy laptop at all. And I was taking like 2 hours to render like 5-minute videos and like shitty ass 720 from my Hokage. Yeah, I had a Hokage back in the day, so that's how I was recording shit. That was like 2011, 2012. So it was a couple of years before I decided to get a PC. So I didn't really get it for gaming, but I was like, you know what? Let me try it, because I do have some decent hardware in here, and I got Battlefield 3, and it was a wrap after that. After I saw that in person, I was like, hell no, I'm gaming on PC. Forget y'all, bro. I'm out. So that just like story, but
Gateway.
Yeah, but anyway, but just going back to that, the PS5 is definitely a freaking huge console. So just be prepared for that, because it's definitely interesting seeing it in person compared to seeing all the videos and stuff about it. It really is a huge freaking console, and for all of you people that do have space that you can sit it up horizontally, hey, that's cool. But I can't. I get on my desk. I had to sit it down vertically. It's crazy. But it's cool though. For like my very first console that I've ever gotten day one, that I was lucky enough to get, I haven't had any problems so far. But it is very interesting, like with the lack of games at launch day for this thing. I think that's probably like one of the biggest negatives. But at the same time, again, I don't really care, because there are way too many games to play. Period. So I'm just really I'm not trying to take my time, but it's definitely going to take a little bit of time to get through these games because, we have other stuff to do. We have to talk about shit. So I have to play my games a little bit faster than usual. But nobody can say that they don't have time, that there are no games to play because, Jesus, it's hella stuff to play. But I like it, man. I like it so far. Like, I really don't have any issues with this PS5 for real. It's just a lack of games. Like, for the casual person who like, oh, man, should I get this day one? I mean, if you have a PS4, you can probably wait unless you just absolutely want to, play Miles Morales or Godfall or, the next gen 2K or something. Those are really like the main 3 games. If you don't want to play any of those, like if you just don't want to see the experience firsthand, then you can wait. Honestly, you can really wait. But it's cool. I like it so far, and the controller is actually pretty decent as well. I thought that I would hate it, but I really don't have any problems with it. It's decent. I really have to get used to the triggers. I would say the triggers are a little weird for my hand placement, but other than that, I think that the controller is actually fine. I thought that it would be worse just looking at the design, but I think it's cool. I don't have any problems with that either. So overall, I would say it's nice. Overall, I would say the PS5 is nice, but for all the people who are still on the fence or unable to get one, you can honestly wait if you have a PS4.
That's me.
I was about to say, do you have any thoughts on the 5, Mel?
I've seen some videos on it and everything like that, and it's really like reassuring to hear that it is very fast with the SSD. And I've seen some gameplay too with people doing the comparisons, and I will say that it does look very smooth. Because people were doing like comparisons with Miles Morales and NBA 2K and Ghost of Tsushima, and you can see the smoothness between the PS4 and the PS5, and I would say the graphics look fantastic too on there. I did hear that some people were having problems with like switching over their PS4 memory into their PS5. Sometimes like it just wouldn't work, like it wouldn't do it. And like another thing I would like to say is that I've also been hearing a lot of people saying that the launch is like one of the worst launches ever. And I was like, to me, I'm like, how? Like when the PS4 and the Xbox One launch came out, I would say that launch was actually worse than this one because there was like no exclusives on the PS4 at all, except for like knack. And
what were the? Hold on, I'm about to Google that. Go ahead. PS4.
And for the Xbox One, the Xbox One, they actually had some good exclusives. They had Dead Rising 3 and they had Rise Son to Rome, even though that wasn't that good. But hey, at least they had something. But like we got, Miles Morales, you got Demon Souls, and of course you always got the 2K.
Actually, you're right. Yeah, I'm looking
at
Angry Birds.
I was just like, everybody
4,
keep.
right.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like,
Angry Birds.
Yeah, that was on the PS4.
That was a PS4 launch title, apparently.
Yeah, I think it was Angry Birds, the Star Wars thing or something, right?
Yeah, 2K, Warframe. It's all a bunch of games, multiplayers.
Exactly.
I had a Killzone, which.
But I think the reason why people are saying that it's one of the worst ones is because pretty much most of the games that you can play on the PS5, you can play on the PS4 too. Like the PS4, it wasn't like that. But I mean, hey.
I think people are saying that it's a terrible launch because they're just butthurt they didn't get a PS5, and it's funny in itself because as someone who owns one, Ethos is probably right. You probably don't need one day one. Like, there's not really much to play other than Miles Morales, and you can play that on your 4, unless you absolutely need to see the better visuals. Because my favorite things right now about the PS5 are what Jay was talking about. The SSD is fast as hell, and it's quiet. Like, it does a great job of dispersing heat, but none of that matters until we get an exclusive that's absolutely worth playing. Like, I will say that M2 in there is fucking amazing because when I was playing Miles Morales, how fast it is. Like, fast travel is actual fast travel now. You don't have to wait 30 seconds to like a minute. Like, literally, like going from one spot to another in the city takes like 2 seconds. And it made
I never thought about that.
It made it. I cleared the map out so fucking quick. I cleared the map out of side missions on Miles Morales in like an hour and a half because the fast travel is so quick and you instantly. It's not a lot to do in the game, but because you instantly unlock the fast travel at the beginning and that M2, it made it feel less tedious to do side missions because you don't realize how much time you're spending on menus loading until you no longer have to deal with it. So that's my favorite feature so far. That it is fire that you could do
that's
that.
gonna be useful for Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and I will say that the only like real next gen title that there is Demon Souls, because that game looks absolutely gorgeous. You know.
Yeah, I ain't playing that. I don't want no damn headache.
I mean, yeah, I don't play Dark Souls games either, but you know, it's cool.
Yeah, the launch lineup is kind of weak. Like 2K is whatever. I'm not on it as much as it's not bad, but it is what it is.
Oh, I'm done with 2K.
I don't blame you. Godfall's like whatever. We gonna get more into detail about fucking Godfall. Miles Morales is the only thing worth playing, and like even the performance mode of Miles Morales looks amazing. It looks like a next gen title. It looks like a PC game running at 60 FPS. So I was like actually impressed by that.
Well,
go ahead.
That's good. That's good to hear. Everyone's liking the PS5, but since y'all like it, I don't want to be the yes man. I don't got a PS5, but then from my experience, it sucks, man. It sucks.
Right.
I just want to be different.
I agree with you, man. I got screwed over by Target, man. I should have had me a PS5, but I don't.
Yeah, I think that everybody's just butthurt about not being able to actually get a PS5 because whatever store they order from screwed them over. But I hate to break it to y'all, like there's no reason to even own it right now. Like you absolutely have to play Miles Morales in performance mode.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's honest true though.
I haven't really been playing it, to be honest. Like it just
I'm not, okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I said this before. I told people, listen, if 2K becomes too exclusive to a console, like anything, like it could be for the Switch only. I'm like, guess what? I'm buying a Switch, and I'm seeing that City stuff. I was talking to Steve about it. I'm like, man, it's kind of funny. I just want the PS5 right now for 2K.
You want to wait a few patches though.
I want to ball out.
Is the city kind of like how the neighborhood was in 2K18? It's just like
it's way better.
From my understanding, it's worse because they have 4 sections in the city, different boroughs, and like there's only 100 people in the server, like 2K18. So it's worse because it's harder to find games. The space is humongous, but then there's only 100 people in the server. So like they're calling for like maybe they should put 1,000 on the server, but then it might lag the place out. It was a good idea, but poor execution is what it seems like.
Yeah, I've also seen videos where people was like, it makes no sense how they still have these trash servers on this next gen game right here. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them. They need NBA Live to get it together. That's the only way. NBA Live disappeared. It's the Avatar. We needed to come back. It's the only way.
Though.
Yeah, because
this is the first game on this gen, so we're really gonna see like what they're gonna tweak next year.
And I beg to differ. That's really the reason why I'm just like, I'm waiting. I'm waiting again because those servers every time, bro. Literally every time. I don't care what 2K does. It's always the servers that end up being like the deal breaker for me. I don't want to deal with it again. Like I was seeing D-Man lag like when he had the game like 2 days before everybody else.
I think
I don't understand how that happens.
I think it's
nobody
worse.
in the servers, bro.
I think it's worse too with next gen consoles because they have all this new computing power and they don't bother to take advantage of it.
Exactly.
So like, I can understand JG's standpoint. Yeah,
it's something wrong there. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna wait.
At this point, you can't because you know what it is. They used to always blame the computing power on the PS4 and the Xbox One wasn't enough. That's why there's frame drops. You can't make that excuse now. Like it's just you're lazy. You don't want to upgrade the servers. So like I can understand where he's coming from with that.
Yeah, and it just like it really pissed me off that they're trying to have people pay $60 for the PS4, and then once you get a PS5, you got to pay $70 unless you paid the $100. And I'm just like, that's scummy right there. And the game just pretty much looks almost the exact same compared to the PS4 and PS5. I'm just like, wow, this looks like NBA 2K20 really.
Yeah, I'll give them a slight pass on the visuals only because they said they couldn't upgrade them like how they wanted because they couldn't get access to the players for like the face scans and shit like that. So I was like, I can understand that. Yeah, they put out a whole video saying that like they weren't allowed into the NBA bubble because of the COVID shit. But they just put out a new patch where they just updated like 40 players' new faces, and they said throughout the year they're going to continue to improve the visuals. So like COVID kind of fucked up their development, but that doesn't change the fact with the servers though. Yeah, so I kind of 50-50. I kind of agree there. I didn't. What's funny is we didn't even have 2K on the notes. We went on a whole tangent about 2K.
I mean, hey,
Good.
we all like 2K, man, or basketball, really.
Right. Let's actually talk a little bit more about Miles Morales. You playing the poverty version. I want to hear your take on it. Chaos. How you feeling about Miles Morales on the PS4?
To be honest with you, like, all right, so I first started playing because I obviously PS5 came out later, like a couple days after, and I was loving it. I was like, man, this looked really good. I'm having fun. By the way, the game is great. But then I saw JG play it on stream, and I was like, man, I'm out of here, bro. Like, this stream pissed me off because I look at my PS4 game, I'm like, it's not the same. I can clearly see it on stream. It looks way better. So yeah, there's a big upgrade on the PS5. But as far as the game goes, like, I was very worried about it feeling the same as the Marvel Spider-Man that came out for the PS4, and it feels different enough to make it feel like a different sort of game. But yeah, it feels like a expansion or DLC. So
I wouldn't call it DLC. I would say an expansion. Like, it's not a new game. It's in that weird space. It's not a new game, but it's not DLC, because DLC would be like 2-3 hours. Like, this is like a 10-hour plus game, depending on how many side missions you do.
Well, because to let everybody know, I beat the game, and I was not impressed at all with the story. Like, the story is the biggest thing that I was kind of like. I was telling my stream, LAX Chaos at Twitch. I was telling my stream that it feels the writing definitely needed to be improved, because that's exactly what I was worried about when they announced this game, and they were like kind of wishy-washy with what they wanted to call it, like expansion, DLC, a standalone game, a sequel. That's why I was worried, because like I for sure know that the combat and everything about the gameplay was gonna be good, because what we got from Spider-Man. But I was worried about the story, because Miles Morales, he's great, but he's never like showcased. I mean, we got the movie, which was really dope to see, but in a video game, so I want to have his shine like he's supposed to. That being said, he does have his like the character in the game. He's really good. It's just like the villain and stuff like that, what happens in the game, that I was kind of like disappointed.
Would you say that the story is pretty much like almost every other Spider-Man game?
Nah, cause the Spider-Man, yeah. So that's the thing too, is the Marvel Spider-Man game. I thought that was really good. There were there's surprises in Marvel Spider-Man on the PS4, and in Miles Morales. That's why I kind of got upset, because they try to play off like this. So there's a surprise plot twist, or like they're going up to something, and they act like something's like kind of like this like has nothing to do with the Miles Morales, but like kind of when we see it in DC, they kill off Superman, and they're gonna act like he's not gonna come back. It's like what's gonna happen, but like in Miles Morales, it's like there's moments like where like something happens, and you're like, you can see it coming from a mile away, like, oh, I bet you this thing's gonna happen to make that other thing happen, and I called it. I was saying it on my stream. Just it's mad predictable. So there's that. But all the characters are pretty. All the characters are pretty good.
It's a little disappointing to hear that you weren't satisfied with the story. I'm gonna still beat it and judge it for myself, but from what I've been playing, like, I've mainly just been doing the side missions and leveling up his suit and stuff. I've been enjoying it for what it is, but I will say, don't go into this expecting to be mind blown. It's kind of more of the same with the Spider-Man. It's just now he has some electrical powers and he can go invisible. Like, a couple slight differences. Has a little social media app, and you can do side missions that way.
There's tweaks and improvements.
Yeah. It's more the same, but just kind of better. So don't expect going in to be mind blown. I was mainly playing for the story, so it's kind of disappointing to hear that you weren't that impressed. But I'll judge for myself. We'll see.
The swagger of a black
those animations
was exciting.
Those animations look amazing though. His web swinging.
Oh
it
yeah,
looks fantastic. And the combat, it looks like he's quicker than Peter too. To me,
because he's smaller. Yeah,
it's smoother. his powers, like what TBH was saying, like it feels different enough that I was satisfied with my purchase. Like I don't want to like get it confused. Like I was very satisfied with the game. It just story, just whatever.
What about you, Jay?
Wait a minute. All of you guys are wrong.
Okay.
Why are none of you all saying that this is the most amazing story ever? Why are you all not crying? Chaos, why did you not cry?
I actually did cry at the end.
Oh, you did cry. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, because I was like,
I
man.
just want to make sure because apparently this is the greatest game ever, right? This is the
I
greatest
did
story
cry.
ever.
I cried, bro. I said,
Okay.
I could be playing this on my PS5.
Oh my goodness. all right. But yeah, I think that really because I don't cry from any movie or story, anything like that. But we were seeing some people getting very emotional over this game. And it just made me start thinking because I only got it like an hour and a half of playtime. And I was like, okay, like it's turned out to be, a decent story. I don't know which way it's going to go, but I was seeing that people already beat it. And you told me that it was only 10 hours. So I'm like, okay, so it's a short story. People are running through it. They're probably beating it on stream. They probably beat it in one day or whatever. And then people are just recording themselves crying. I'm like, well, what's going on? Is this really the most amazing story ever? But then Chaos, you say that, you're kind of disappointed. So I'm really questioning everybody who's crying over it. Is it just because we are getting represented, Black people and Hispanic people? Is this just because of the representation, or are they crying because the story was actually like just mind blowing and it was one of the greatest stories that they've ever played in a video game? Because I haven't even gotten far into it, but I don't think even with you saying that, Chaos, how you felt about it, I don't think that I was going to feel that way anyways.
Did you feel like that with The Last of Us 2?
Oh wow!
No.
I think most people forgot that game came out this year. That shit was so ass. Nobody's talking.
I want to
about
forget
that.
it. I want to.
No, they're bringing it back up. They're bringing it back up because of the Game Award. Because the Game of the Year.
Yeah.
It got
Yeah,
nominated.
Yes.
It got
It
nominations.
nominations.
See, this is why we can't trust Jeff Keighley. He's the Doritos and Mountain Dew Pope. Okay, we can't.
Hopefully,
trust this
Ghost of Tsushima wins.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah. Hopefully.
guy. I didn't know those nominations came out. I would have put it on the show notes. My bad.
Nah, it's all good. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of even more disappointed in that. Now that you said that, Chaos. But as far as like the gameplay from what I played, I would agree with you all. Like, I think that the combat is pretty dope. I really love the smoothness of the PS5 version. It does look visually just amazing. And I love the Spider-Verse suit. Like, I really like how they made that change with just one suit. Yeah. To make it look like the Into the Spider-Verse. That was so dope. Yeah, that was.
Wait, you're playing the whole game like that?
No.
Oh, because I turned that shit on and turned it right off 2 minutes later. I was like, this is a novelty. I'm not playing the game. I did not buy a PS5 to play at 15 frames per second. I'm good.
Wait,
no.
Wait, you realize what that suit does, or that suit ability does? It only happens to the character.
Right.
Everything around it is smooth.
It was still making my eyes hurt though. Like I just didn't.
No,
like
I get what T-Bait is talking about.
No, PC.
And I heard you can put it on every other suit too.
Yeah, you can.
I didn't want it on.
Which, to be honest with you, it's not. It doesn't feel the same when you do that.
I would agree with that. But trying it out, because I was looking for it. Because I remember when they mentioned that feature. I was looking for it. I was like, oh, okay, it's with this. All right, cool. And I put it on the stream. I was like, this is really dope. Just the fact that you could do that though, it's pretty cool. So like little things like that, little visual changes, in this game compared to the original Marvel Spider-Man was dope. I really like that. So, but again, I just really keep harping on the performance mode, just how visually amazing that it looks and how smooth the game is. Now that I know that I am playing at a steady 60 FPS, it's dope. And it was amazing just seeing Chaos come in the stream and hate on me and my web swinging skills.
I mean, you suck at the game too. I didn't mention that. You suck at swing. I'm not gonna lie, I watch people play the game, they don't be swinging with swagger. I'd be like, man, you suck.
You swagger with a black team.
I've been thinking the same thing, bro.
Oh, and the soundtrack was dope too.
Shout out to Kid Cudi.
Jaden Smith. Oh my god, yeah, shout out to Kid Cudi.
I was like, damn, DMCA on stream. I was gonna get DMCA.
Right. No, I got worried too, but
that shit was
I was like, forget it, bro. You gotta let that bang, because that beginning track was fire. So
I guess I guess since you brought up the suit, I was disappointed with the suit selections. It's a little bit nitpicky, but it is what it is.
Mm.
I ain't even gotten far enough to unlock that many.
So
To
you
be
thought
honest,
that
I didn't even know he had that many suits.
Yeah, that's true too, though.
I guess they just made a whole bunch for him for the maybe just for this game, possibly. I don't know.
But overall, I think it's a solid title. Just nitpicking some certain things. In my opinion, is it a reason to buy a PlayStation 5? No. But if you got one, sure, play that one because it's the better version. Let's talk about some dog shit. Godfall.
Oh my
Oh yeah, forget about that.
Godfall, available on PS5 and PC. It is the new hack and slash looter shooter, I guess you want to. I don't even know what to call the genre. It's like a looter shooter, but it's a hack and slash game.
It's a looter slasher.
Sure. And it's made by Gearbox, the people who made Struggleborn as well as Borderlands. And I think that's all they made. But yeah, this game is I uninstalled it after about 2 hours. This shit is ass to me. It's been getting mixed reviews. It's very pretty. It has a lighting effect, a lot of like really good lighting effects. It looks nice, but then like it's too OD because once like you go into the co-op and you're fighting together and you have 3 people slashing at monsters, just big bright ass, like the shit was legit hurting my eyes. I don't know if I'm getting old or something, but it was just too much on the screen. The combat was boring as shit. It's just fucking you mash one or two buttons, no crazy combos or anything like that. The story was completely uninteresting. I don't know what it is with Gearbox. They just cannot tell a story. And also, they've been making the same game for like 10 years now. All of it is just derivations of fucking Borderlands. All these fucking looter shooters, bruh. But the difference is it doesn't have the character of Borderlands with like the wacky characters and like the world and stuff like that. It was just like some lion dude. My brother betrayed me and now I gotta swing a hammer and shit. Like, this shit was boring. Go ahead, Jay. Talk about it.
Yeah. I hate to say this, but I think it solidified it last night when we finally got a chance to play co-op. This is probably one of my most disappointing games of 2020. This was actually one of my most anticipated leading up to the release, and I was like, man, I was like, man, I'm gonna cop this on PC, and they were like, no, get it on PS5, get it on PS5. I was like, okay, I'll cop it on PS5 because they were like, yeah, it loads super quick and it looks really dope, and the frame rate is cool. Literally, when I started it up though, man, them frames during that first cutscene were dipping. I was like, hold on now. This don't look right. And then when I was actually running around and stuff, I was like, this doesn't feel like 60 FPS. I think that it was struggling a little bit.
To be fair, it wasn't just running shit on the PS5. It was running shit on the PC for me too.
And that's even more disappointing. That's even more disappointing.
And I got a 2070.
Yeah, so you have the same card that I have, so I probably would have been having the same issues. So it has to be the game at this point.
It's the same scene. I tell everybody, Nomad in the beginning when it first loads up, like it's gonna cause issues.
Yeah, so that's disappointing. So I got into it. I went through the first cutscene, and it was pretty much what TBA said, like, this is not an engaging story. If you don't capture me within the first like 5 minutes of it as to what the plot is, I think I'm going to have a bad time.
They told us nothing about the characters, the world, why the two factions are fighting. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What is this shit?
I'm not gonna lie. I told y'all, I wish I could bring up the DMs like that we had like probably last month, and when everyone was deciding when to get the game, I was telling Nomad and everybody was like, I don't know what y'all see in this game. Because every time they showed it off, when I would play the game, I was like, "Oh, this game has a story." Well, okay, that's my first like question mark is that they never really mentioned it in any of their trailers that what kind of story was going to be. Second of all, they gave me the game. Shout out to them. And I was like, when I did play it, it's what I thought it was going to be. Pretty basic, average combat, like TBH was saying. That being said, I don't want to shit on too much because to be honest with you, I had fun when I did play it with my friend. Like, it's mindless fun, but I don't know if I would.
It's a little too mindless. It's really uninspired is the word. It's not terrible, but it's very uninspired.
Oh no, yeah.
And to me, those are kind of some of the worst games when it doesn't evoke any real type of emotion. It's like it's not terrible, but it's not good either. It's just there. It's kind of like, why do you exist?
We were running around last night just doing nothing, just mindlessly
It's a tech demo.
flashing at people and trying to
It's
figure
just,
out
it's just
some
one of those games shows off the PS5.
we're trying to figure out some stupid puzzles, and we were just like getting frustrated at that, wanting to cut the game off right there. I was hoping that I would have had a different experience playing with you and Nomad last night, and I didn't. It was literally these. I would actually argue that it was worse, minus our conversations that we were having. It was actually a worse experience playing with people. I was just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't care what's going on. We're going around getting these treasure chests. Yeah, I may be getting some slightly better gear, but what is it all for if I'm not overall engaged in the story? Yeah, the graphics were cool, but like you said, TBH, it was a lot of blinding moments. I'm like, why are you all doing so many lighting effects? It is very, very blinding, and it gets distracting. I feel like it's a gimmick at this point. So I was just very disappointed in it.
Yeah,
I have seen that.
Here's an example. Like, all right, so what's Assassin's Creed about, right? Assassin's Creed is about, there are these Templars, these evil people that have been around since the beginning of time, since I think Greece, basically, that want to collect artifacts so that they can control the world and create peace through control. And then you have the assassins who want to create peace, or they just want to allow people to do what they want,
they
free
fire
will.
from the shadows to
they
shine the light on the justice.
And they established that pretty early on. Like, just give me something and like, you're looking at all these cool character design. It's like, okay, these characters look cool and this is what they're doing. This is the motivation. All right, let's go with this story. Like, you have all this cool character design in Godfall, and I'm like, what the fuck is the point of any of this shit? You got this cool looking lion dude, and all you see is some bootleg ass Lion King scene where his fucking brother kicks him off the cliff. Long live the king, head ass. and then it just throws you into some tech demo level where it's like, all right, we'll swing your hammer. I'm like, the world looks cool, but I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you don't have to give me a lot. It's worse than Destiny in terms of the storytelling, and that storytelling is ass too.
And
I don't know what it is with looters, man. I'm not a fan of looters. I'm really not. I try to give them all a chance. Like, the last looter that came out before this was Avengers. I tried to give that a chance, and that really let me down. But oh my goodness, I'll say one thing though. I have seen some gameplay videos and stuff, and the gameplay kind of reminds me of God of War, especially with the camera angle and everything, and how the character like kind of moves a little bit.
Yeah, it is a bit of God of War.
It's not as in depth though, I don't think. Like, the combo system is not as heavy.
It's not. It's not as polished. But I was gonna say, because Jay mentioned, it feels like a gimmick, and you also said, TBH, about the graphics. And I was telling Siggy just yesterday, something that when I first saw the game and what really kind of threw me off, that I didn't like, is actually the what's the word? Well, I don't know the word, but one of the main things that I'm getting really sick of is actually the Unreal Engine. When people use it, because they just use it and they turn it up to the max, just like what Godfall did. Like, I don't like this game because, one, the art style, to me, it just doesn't appeal to me. Like, the whole, like the level design of it being like gold and like God, like everything's God. Like, it's like there's no like darkness to it. There's no like, everything seems the same, even when you go to like the different lands and whatever. Like all the colors and stuff like that. I don't it doesn't appeal to me the way it looks, and that's just like a personal opinion on it. But to go more in depth about like the combat that I didn't like is like something that Warframe does better than this is like, Warframe has the suits, which Godfall has the suits, which is, they're both cool. Well, what Warframe does better is the combat. Like, you got your abilities, you got multiple abilities. That's one. You got your ultimate, you got your guns, you got your melee weapons. But in this, they solely depend on the melee combat, and it's literally just your light and your heavy, and then you have like 2 abilities, and then your ultimate. And what Warframe does, Warframe does better. And sorry to like compare it, but it's like the only like looter shooter that has been doing it right for years, is that you actually get to customize everything about your guy, your weapon, your abilities, your suit, the color of the suit. And I was kind of disappointed in any type of game that allows you to do a looter shooter. They should allow you to fully customize your character, because that's the whole point of a looter shooter. to get the loot that you want, so you could brag to the other people to show them, hey, I got a better suit than you, my guy looks better. Like, that's everything that for loot. Even in Destiny does it right, because you get your DLC, even if it's pay to win, pay to look better. Like, it's to stunt other people, like, yo, I got the better loot, I look better, and stuff like that. In Godfall, all these suits are pretty much anybody can get them, and you can't customize them that much.
I mean, that's real interesting that you brought up Warframe, because I was just thinking about that before we started recording. I was like, the way the art style looks and kind of how y'all talking about with the lighting and everything when y'all like doing y'all moves and stuff, it kind of reminded me of Warframe too.
Yeah, and in Warframe, to bring up the art, like the level design in Warframe is a lot different, because they have the dark places that contrast to the abilities. So in this game, everything's bright. The level design is bright in the background. The effects is bright. Your suit's bright. If you look at the cover of the game, it's very bright.
They focus more on the colors than the actual game. Like, I think it's time to have a conversation about Gearbox. Like, we're gonna knock them down a tier here. Borderlands is not that great.
Did I think that they were better than they really were? Maybe I didn't like Borderlands as much as I thought I did.
I mean, nobody's talking about Borderlands 3.
That's their peak. That's their peak.
Borderlands 2.
Yeah, I think Borderlands 2. Yeah, Borderlands 2 was. I don't think Borderlands 3 got the. I mean, everybody was hype about it, of course, but I think when the game actually came out, it didn't end up satisfying a lot of people.
You know, it's funny. Jokes aside, as much as I crack on Struggleborn, like I cracked on it because it struggled to sell, but it honestly wasn't a bad game. It just came out at a bad time around Overwatch, so it got compared to Overwatch a lot, even though it wasn't really like it. It was its own thing. Godfall is worse than Struggleborn. Like, this game fucking sucks.
Wow.
So
I mean, I don't want to be as harsh and say that it fucking sucks, but like I said, it's a huge disappointment. It's probably the biggest disappointment I've had, especially for a game that I like actually anticipated and was like looking forward to playing.
And it
I was
sucks
like, this ain't it.
about the timing when it comes out to all these games are competing towards like Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed, and it's gonna get lost if it's not up to quality of the standard of what all these other games are doing.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't even know this game was coming out until the week before the consoles was coming out. I forget. I thought it was coming out like next year. I think they might have rushed it out. I think that's what the theme I'm getting from these looter games. They like to rush them out. I don't know why.
Make money. That's all. They know it's not a lot of competition with the PS5, so they can just shoot their way
holiday.
in. Yeah,
they need to go back to the drawing board. Somebody mentioned last night, they were like, is this like Anthem? And I was like, I actually had more fun playing Anthem.
I was like, it's worse.
I was actually thinking about that too when y'all was talking about it was grinding y'all and everything, you know?
Yeah, I was like, I actually had more fun playing Anthem, even though Anthem, they're going to end up redoing it, making an Anthem 2.0, but we actually had more fun playing that in the beginning than Godfall, because we barely even lasted 2 hours last night before, TBH uninstalled it. I'm going to give it one more shot and face the boss, but other than that, I have no interest in playing it. I only wanted to play co-op because I thought I was going to get a more fun experience, because when I first played it by myself, I was like, does anybody know what's going on? And nobody can answer it in the chat. And I asked again last night, does anybody know what's going on? And nobody knows. And if nobody knows what's going on, even the person who's, paying halfway attention to what's going on when we're playing and they're not paying attention to us, if they don't even know, then that means that you messed up somewhere. I need a more engaging story. I know it's a looter shooter. I'm not expecting, greatness in the story from beginning to end. But I need to at least be somewhat engaged when it comes to the story. If you're going to have a story, at least make it halfway decent. I don't know what's going on, and it's just a generic ass revenge story. It sucks.
Story aside, the combat's not great.
Yeah, and the combat's not that great either. It's okay, but it's not anything that's mind blowing. It looked way better during the trailers and the little gameplay stuff that we saw, but when we actually played it, ended up being gimmicky as well.
Feels like really simple game.
This is the PS5's Killzone Shadowfall. Like, everybody bought that game at the launch of PS4 because it was like the one exclusive, but everybody forgot about it like within a year. Like, everybody's gonna forget about this game. You remember that PS5 launch title, Godfall? Nah, I don't. So I've been thinking about making some personal changes lately. I wanted to start by improving my self-care routine. The problem was I had nowhere idea to start. And then I found Hawthorne. Hawthorne is a premium tailored personal care brand that makes it easy for guys to feel and smell your best. You start with their quiz. They ask you things like, what's your favorite drink? How do you like to spend your night out? Do you smoke? How often do you shower? And more. Not only was the quiz easy, but it was quick and it was thoughtful. The products that I received were a bunch of different products, but my favorite was their cologne. All the cologne from Hawthorne comes in sets of 2, so not only do they smell great, but you get a good bang for your buck. You get one for work and one for play. And since I started wearing their stuff, I receive compliments daily. If you want to upgrade your self-care routine, Hawthorne is a fun and convenient way to get super high quality products tailored specifically for your needs. Hawthorne even takes the risk out of it by giving you free shipping on your orders and return. And if you don't like the products, they'll even retailer them for you based off your feedback. Do what I did. Take Hawthorne's quiz today and get started on your personalized healthcare routine by going to hawthorne.co and using promo code GI at checkout to get 10% off your first purchase. That's Hawthorne, HAWTHORNE.co, and use promo code GI, hawthorne.co, promo code GI at checkout for 10% off.
What's going on, y'all? It's UTXJG to die, 1/3 of the Gaming Illuminati podcast. And you know all the things that we love to do for ourselves but haven't done it for whatever reason. Now for me, I always want to straighten teeth and a better smile. Well, I'm done putting it off. And thanks to Candid Straightening, my teeth is simpler, easier, and more comfortable than ever. Candid clear aligners are comfortable, removable, and practically invisible, unlike wire braces. So you can transform your smile without anybody noticing. Plus, your treatment is prescribed and monitored remotely by a licensed orthodontist who's an expert on tooth movement, and it's all done from the comfort and convenience of your own home. Candid only works with orthodontists, never general dentists like other companies. Plus, your supervisor orthodontist will be with you every step of the way. With Candid, your treatment includes remote monitoring by the same orthodontist who created your plan, so you never have to wonder how you're doing. You're always going to know, and I love that. The average Candid treatment is just 6 months. You'll start seeing results way before then, and it costs thousands less than braces. So, are you ready to start straightening your teeth today? Right now, all my listeners can save $75 on Candid Starter Kit. Go to candidco.com/GI and use code GI. That's candidco.com/GI, code GI. Take advantage of the limited time offer to save $75 on your starter kit. candidco.com/GI, code GI.
It feels like the holiday season sneaks up on us early every year. If you're not already thinking about holiday shopping, then you are behind. That's why I want to let you know about a great place to get everything you need this holiday season. It's called Zebit. With Zebit, you can shop thousands of products from your favorite brands and pay for them over time. They have everything from Xboxes and TVs to tools, cookware, and furniture. And Zebit gives you the option to pay just a portion of the price at checkout, with the rest spread out over time in easy, affordable payments. Check this out. If you're working out, Zebit has the Beats by Dr. Dre Power Beats Pro for $250. You make that first payment, and then after that, you only make 6 small payments over the next 6 months. If you were in store, you would have to pay all of that up front, and I know things are tight right now in this COVID era, so why not try Zebit for the holidays? Zebit even has gift cards from all your favorite places like Sephora, Bath & Body Works, Foot Locker, and more. So whether you're in a pinch or need a last minute gift, or you just want to shop somewhere else, Zebit's gift cards have you covered. With Zebit, there's no cost to join, no hidden fees, and no gotchas. With flexible payment options and an amazing marketplace, Zebit is the best place to start your holiday shopping. And since Zebit is a sponsor of the show, get a head start on your holiday shopping by signing up on Zebit today at zebit.com/GI. That's ZEBIT.com/GI, zebit.com/GI. You know what people do remember? The Cold War. You know, nuclear missiles could have went off at any time versus Russia. You played this, JG. So what's your impressions on Call of Duty Cold War?
Call of Duty is Call of Duty. I hate to say this every single title that comes out, but that's pretty much the only way that you can describe it. Like, I feel like the same issues reside in these games. Like, for example, this was an issue that was in the beta and the alpha that didn't get fixed. The friend system. I don't know if this is a PC thing, but we've had issues with the friend system. That's one major issue. We can't even get into a game half the time because people are showing offline, or we can't invite somebody. Little technical issues like that. I had a hard time even getting back to the main menu after a game was done. And Ethos just told me last night, you have to hit escape in order to get back instead of hitting back after I continue. It's like, what? Why do I have to do that? Like, again, little technical issues. There were only 8 maps for the regular core mode. So again, we played the same maps over and over and over last night, and even the last time that we played the same maps over and over and over. They're going to literally milk the mess out of this game, but I guess the one positive thing is everything's supposed to be free. Although the DLC content, they're not really doing the season pass, so I guess that's a plus. The guns are cool. I don't really have any problem with going back compared to how I did in like the World War I, World War II games that they had, because I didn't really want to play with those guns, but I have no problem playing with these guns. It reminds me of the original Black Ops, which is fine. There are always going to be those guns that are OP, and they're going to be making tweaks, so I'm not really going to be speaking about that. But overall, the guns are okay. The combat is okay. I'm not really like super upset at any like technical thing when it comes to the combat. It's just always going to come down to the people, because the people, regardless of how much that they bitch about camping and the way that people play, like, people are just going to continue to play like that. That's just the Call of Duty culture at this point, and I just accept it for what it is. Like, we just get on there and we just have mindless party gameplay and just shoot shit. So the Call of Duty is Call of Duty. I haven't played the campaign yet, but I heard it's really short, so I'm going to get on that eventually and try to get through that. But I heard the campaign was actually pretty good, minus it being short. So I'm actually looking forward to it. I like the Black Ops stories too, even though it's not my favorite. I actually enjoyed the Modern Warfare stories a little bit more. But I know a lot of people, because Ethos was swear up and down. If he was in here, he'd be like, I love Black Ops. I love Black Ops.
But he ain't.
Yeah, he ain't in here. But but I know a lot of other people that just thoroughly enjoyed the Black Ops story. So I'll get on that, because I actually really, really love like the campaigns, period. I'm not that type of guy that just plays multiplayer and doesn't play the campaign. I actually really love it. So but like I said, at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. Call of Duty is going to have the same problems. If it's not the technical issues with the game itself, it's with the community. So it is what it is. Like, I'm just taking it for what it is at this point, and I got the game for free, so I can't complain about it.
I'm glad you said all that, because it makes me better about waiting to get it on sale, because there's so many games coming out. I was like, Call of Duty gonna have to wait. So I'll catch it on Black Friday. Hope we can get it for like $30-$40. We'll see. Assassin's Creed Valhalla has already dropped to $48.
Yeah, no rush at all, bro. Like, you'll hop on there eventually.
Yeah, Watch Dogs Legion is like $30 too. That game's boring though.
Yeah, I heard that game was pretty bad.
Yeah, Watch Dogs 2 is still the best in the series. Like, I started it and I started uploading it to the second channel. It's like, if I started a walkthrough, I'm gonna finish it. But like, that shit it's not as boring as Godfall, but it feels uninspired and it lacks, what's the word, focus. It's just kind of like all over the place.
Like spice.
Yeah,
I lost interest in Watch Dogs since the first one. I still haven't played the second one. I'm gonna play it though, because everybody keep talking about how good it is.
Definitely try it.
It's gaining like a cult like following, because so many people will say it's good. I think people are finally starting. It's just hard to go from San Fran to London, and there's no protagonist really. This shit's boring.
Oh wow.
Anybody else played Cold War?
Yeah, I have.
What'd you think?
I think JG's just wrong about a lot of things, but this one he's somewhat right. No, I'm kidding. Jay sucks at Call of Duty, man. He really does, and I think that's why he don't like the game as much as I do. I'm nice. Playing Search and Destroy yesterday. I made him play, and guess what? He enjoyed it. I only played the multiplayer, but to me, coming from Modern Warfare, which I really like the gunplay of Modern Warfare, but the maps is what held it back. When this, I actually like the gunplay. I like the maps that we got, but the only problem is what JG said. We only have 8 maps, but the first map they're gonna give us is Nuketown, which I don't see why people love Nuketown. I honestly, I hate it. I spawn, I die from a random grenade that gets thrown across the map, or a tomahawk. Like that is pure toxic pain that I used to play on Nuketown. I heard the campaign is good. It is short. It has I think it has multiple endings, is what I heard. If so, then that's also good. It's a Black Ops thing to do, because I think Black Ops 4 or 3 had different endings, I believe. And then plus, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't played zombies in a long time, so it being in this one, it also made me want to play the game. But yeah, I'm satisfied. I bought the game. It runs good on PC. I haven't faced any like toxic campers or anything like that. So it just the gun balancing issue is what they're gonna have to fix. Obviously, like sniping right now is way too easy to quick scope, and that's the only thing that's been pissing me off about Call of Duty. But it's pretty solid. It runs really good. Like I said, it runs good on my PC, so I ain't gonna complain.
Any takes on COD, Mel?
I would say I've seen some walkthroughs on it, and I would say I really do like the, even though I'm not really a Call of Duty fan like I used to be, I do like the direction that they've been going with ever since World War II. Because Modern Warfare was pretty good. The campaign was really nice, and I'll say that the campaign for this one, because I've seen a little, some cutscenes here and there, and I've seen some gameplay. The campaign here is pretty cool. I like the direction that they went. It's kind of like a Fallout. I mean, not a Fallout. It's kind of like a Far Cry 5 type of technique where they kind of let you create your own character, not that much. And then that's when you get to like choose, they got the like dialogue trees and stuff. And I was like, wow, y'all got this in a Call of Duty game? I was like, okay. I mean, and of course, and of course the sound effects and the gunplay ever since Modern Warfare to me has been just absolutely top notch. So, it's cool, but I'm pretty much like everybody else. I'm waiting. It's fine with me.
I feel that. Yeah, I'm gonna just wait for it to come on sale. Seems like it's simple fun, but I ain't paying $60 for that game. Nah, I couldn't find the damn Connect, so it is what it is. That's all we got on the impression side of things of the starting conversation. So I guess we can move into the news. So I have a question for everybody. When you think of civil rights, what do you guys think of? Like Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Black Panthers? No. I'm going to answer it for you. No. You think of Tim Sweeney, baby. Epic Games. All right. So the CEO of Epic Games, Tim Sweeney, gave an interview. So for those of you unaware, they're fighting Apple in their 30% cut in the store. They want their money, basically. They want their money off their V-Bucks. Tim Sweeney is on record saying that he's comparing the fight against the big bad juggernaut of Apple and Epic Games to the black civil rights movement here in America. Wow. So according to Business Insider, Tim Sweeney said normally contracts are honorable and binding agreements on both parties, but when a contract goes outside of the bounds of the law, as Apple is doing and has such a negative and pervasive impact on society, it's everybody's duty to fight. He compared the move to the civil rights fights where they were actual laws on the books and, blah, 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 blah. He says to go against the status quo with the conclusion to I cannot read. Because the go along with them would be collusion to maintain the status quo. He was referencing Martin Luther King and the Birmingham jail letter. Oh my God. This is essentially an act of civil disobedience. So by Epic, he said. So Jay, you're like our political speaker here on the GI podcast. You love to give hot takes on things going on in society. What's this doing for you as a black man?
You know what? For the first time in a while, I am not going to go off on this. I am just going to bow out and just say that he lost his damn mind. That's it. I don't really have too much to say about this because I really I think for the first time in a while, I just kind of got caught off guard because this is kind of getting ridiculous now with this Apple's and Epic situation that, he decides to quote Martin Luther King and say that this is, a violation of civil rights because it's not that deep. I don't get how it even got to this point. So I just think he's just reaching for the stars at this point if he's pulling out quotes from MLK.
What does black civil rights in America have to do with you making an extra 30% profit on V-Bucks?
Bro, y'all are rich. Bro, I am not trying to hear about civil rights because there are still black people in this world today in 2020 that are still fighting for our rights. So yeah, you can just chill on that one. I really don't understand why this is a thing and why he decided to bring that up.
I feel like this turned a lot of people, gave a bad taste in their mouth, gave them like, yo, we were rooting for you, Epic, but it literally reminded me of the meme from the Breakfast Club interview. Like, nah, that ain't it, man. That ain't it. Go ahead.
It's just because I wanted to give him benefit of the doubt because, sometimes when we be talking, we should be saying stuff and it could be taken out of context, maybe, or maybe he meant to say something else. But then he quoted the Martin Luther King thing. He's like, "Oh no, you meant okay, you meant what you were trying to say," and it's just like, nah, man, that's not civil rights. And I don't know, you're making everybody look bad in the company. Yeah, it's pretty sad because there's like JG was saying, there's actually real issues that doesn't have to do with your V-Bucks out here, and this is what you decided to be vocal about. I get it's your issue, but that's not civil rights what's going on right now.
Rich companies fighting against each other. I'm not trying to hear about that.
Yeah. You got any takes on it, Mel?
No comment, bro. Like, no comment on that, man.
How about a PlayStation Game Pass? Some of the Sony reps are teasing there's a possibility that Sony could get their own Game Pass. They do things a little bit differently, utilizing PlayStation Now, which is like their streaming service, but they're talking about potentially doing something similar to the Game Pass. What games do there need to be on there for you to subscribe? Chaos.
What games that put me on the spot? I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not really too sure what I would get it for the a PlayStation Pass, but I just want to bring up this conversation of we had like a couple weeks ago where somebody put in your chat, he wanted the PlayStation Game Pass. Man, that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, you think maybe he had some type of insider knowledge?
Yeah, he had the insider knowledge, man. Shout out to that guy. I think we banned him though.
Damn. What's the name? What about you, Mel?
Mass Effect. If they put Mass Effect, because they had Mass Effect on the PlayStation Now, man. So and they took it right off.
Talking about the original trilogy, Andromeda, or the new one? Because they did tease a new one's coming. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the original trilogy because they had the original trilogy on the PlayStation Now. Then they took it off. I haven't even played Andromeda. No, I have. I played 1 hour and then I just turned it off.
That game's, I don't understand. That game's good, man.
I
to me, it feels like how the MCU, they trying to start over again. It's like, I don't want to. You got me used to these characters for 3 games, and I'm just like, now you're trying to start over. I'm like, I'm not trying to do that. So I was just like, nah.
I mean, they kind of had to after the end of the 3rd one, to be honest.
I mean, everybody was alive pretty much. I mean, when they teased at the end of Shepard breathing, I'm like, hey, okay.
Technically he's right. Shepard didn't die at the end. I think a lot of people didn't get that, because there was 2 endings in the game. I don't think everybody got the true ending, really.
Well, to be honest, that ending was trash, though. I don't mind.
And I hope they change that with the remaster that's coming out in spring. I hope they change the ending.
I think they said they're going to do it with the DLC. That it's going to include everything, I believe. But it is what it is. I personally go ahead.
I mean, it's hard to choose what games to put on there, though. Really, I mean, that's like
God of War on there.
I mean, you gotta have
all
God
your
of War
exclusive stuff, like God of War.
Yeah, you gotta have all the exclusives.
Horizon.
Of course, I feel like they can put that.
PlayStation All Stars, put that on there.
Woo, the heat!
Yes, sir.
Yo, I've always wanted a sequel. I hope they do it. Freaking, it had potential.
They can. They really can do it now. I think it would just be a fun game to play.
Good idea, poor execution.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wanna know, like, because they have the PlayStation Now, and how is that gonna be any different?
Exactly.
That's the only because basically they have it there. Are they just gonna connect it to the PlayStation Plus? Because I mean, I don't understand it. Because
I mean, yeah, like that's confusing too. Because they talking about a PlayStation Plus collection and the PlayStation Now, and then y'all talking about doing a PlayStation Game Pass. Is like, all right, man, y'all doing a little bit too much. Are they gonna like combine them all together, kind of like how Disney Plus is doing with Hulu and ESPN and all that?
Little Crunchyroll or whatever they bought. No, it was Funimation. I think Sony bought. Put that all in there. That would be kind of fire. Game Pass with Funimation. But it's all shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like they not shoulda, coulda, woulda, but it's all wishful thinking because they're just teasing it. They haven't confirmed anything yet, so we shall see. I personally don't care, but I think a lot of Sony fans might, especially people who are balling on a budget.
Yeah.
One game that that I would hope that would be on the Game Pass is the God of War Ragnarok, which is the sequel to the new God of War. There's news that came out that it might not be a PS5 exclusive. When asked about it, Sony Santa Monica said that we're not talking about that today. Would that piss y'all off if it wasn't a PS5 exclusive?
Now, define just PS5 exclusive. Doesn't mean like it's gonna be on the PS4 too, or are they gonna start doing? Because it's seeming like they starting to do.
Well, that's what they were hinting at. Like, will it also be on the PS4, or is it a PS5 exclusive?
Okay, because I was thinking maybe they was talking about putting it on the PC too, because it seemed like they starting to do that now.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know about God of War though, but when I first read the title, that's what I was thinking. I automatically thought PC. But after looking at the article, they were mainly talking about PS4. It wouldn't piss me off, but I would rather them just go all in and put it on the PS5. I guess it would depend on when the actual date is, like pending any possible delays. Because if it's like late next year, then just go all in and put it on the PS5. But at the same time, if they are trying to do that, or if they're not fully certain if they are going to put it on the PS4 as well, then that's going to delay it as it stands right there. Because I know that they're going to take extra time and come up with some excuse or something as to why the PS4 version needs a little bit more time to get tweaked out or something like that. So, but I would rather them, if they're gonna come out with this game at a decent time, they just need to put it on the PS5 and the PS5 only.
It wouldn't piss me off because I don't care about any game that much, but it would be disappointing because if anytime you do a game that has to be on multiple generations, like I feel like it's going to downgrade the game. If they go all in on the PS5 and maybe even a PC version, then they could focus on making the game optimized as well as good looking as possible, taking advantage of like the new technology. But if it's on the PS4, it's going to hold back the game and it's not going to look as good on the PS5. So it's like, I don't feel like that game is coming out anytime soon. It's not coming out for like another year or two, right? It's like, why not just make it a PS5 exclusive? But the fact that they didn't even want to answer this question, it makes me feel like it is coming to the fore.
I want to channel my inner gaming ethos right now.
Yeah, we could use a game dev right now.
You know? All right, so just to bring back on what he said on, like, I think it was the last episode. I think it was about Cyberpunk when it got delayed, right? Just imagine how Ethos would have felt if this was an issue. I mean, it was the issue of Cyberpunk, by the way. Like, they had a delay because of they want to, make sure every platform is great. So just bring it on the PS5, and honestly, I have a PS4 right now. And even I'm saying, just skip the PS4, because at one point everybody's gonna have to just upgrade. They're gonna have to discontinue, making these other games. Even if it's in, like, right now, it seems like it's in question on whether they should do it or not. If it's a question like that, then just go to PS5. Like, I think a lot of people just need to stop going in their feelings if they go only PS5. Like, listen, man, like, there's only enough time for the quality of game that y'all want, and if you want a good quality game, they got to focus on one platform.
I mean, if they try to have the game come out late 2021, according to what the announcement trailer was a couple weeks ago, I have a feeling the game probably gonna get delayed to 2022, really. And if it gets delayed to 2022, then yeah, just put it on the PS5. But if it's gonna come out in 2021, to be honest with you, I feel like a lot of people are still not gonna really have the PS5s. So I think that's kind of why they were saying that. Especially, like, I know the holidays for next year is probably gonna be crazy, just like it is this year with the new consoles too. So I mean, like, to me, I'm kind of the same way. It's not really a big deal to me, but I understand why the uproar is how it is, because then people still gonna be like, okay, so why do I have a PS5 if almost every game you put out is gonna be on the PS4? So, like, I understand that, but
well, nah, I don't think the frustration will ever come from the PS5 people, because, like, they're playing something that's better, like the good quality of the 60 frames and how it looks and all stuff like that. It's usually what it comes from people being mad is the PS4 players being like, hey, we need that game too. Well, if you need that game, then you should probably save it for the PS5, because at some point, like, we talk about the PS5 not having good exclusives. or like let's say like if they didn't put out that would go all the way to like next year or something like that, and then there would be really no reason to get a PS5. So at some point, someone's gotta have to be the man to be like, listen, we're only gonna do this on the PS5, and guess what? That'll give you a reason to get the PS5, and people are gonna love it no matter what. Whether or not I do think it's gonna be a good game, but yeah, I'd just say put it on the PS5.
Yeah, we gonna see. I don't know. We don't know when it's gonna come out, but it should be interesting. I will say from a business standpoint, I can kind of understand it because there's not gonna be a lot of PS5s out there if it does come out 2021. So they probably want to cast a wide net and make sure they can increase those sales as much as possible. You know, PS4 has already got a big install base of like 100+ million people. So
that is true.
It could be a business decision, but you know, it is what it is. We're gonna see. I got a question for Jay. Are gamers bad lovers? You know, he's a married man, so I think you're gonna give him some great perspective on this. So for those unaware, Joe Budden started a podcast network, and there's a show on there called See the Thing Is, and there's a clip that went viral from their show. So they were talking about like the launch of the PS5, and then they just went on. It was 3 women, and one of them was really cool. Shout out to the dark skin one, but the 2 light skin chicks,
Olivia.
Yeah, the 2 light skin chicks on the show to the left, they just went on this whole tangent about how gamers are losers, basement dwellers, failed at sports, and how they're terrible lovers, and how your man should not play games. You're basically less of a man if you play games. That was kind of the gist of the conversation. Very immature. Just, in my opinion, a bad look for hip hop because we're still having this conversation. Not to say there's not some truth to it. There are some people like that, but the fact that they think that everybody's like that, I thought this was interesting that we're still having this conversation in 2020. And as a married man, I would love to hear your perspective on this, Jay. Are you a bad lover as a husband and father?
I would hope not. Maybe I should ask my wife again. I think I've been doing a pretty good job, though. I mean, apparently I've been knocking up the club and got a kid, so I think I'm a pretty good lover. But I will say this, and I actually said this on Twitter. There was a moment when we first moved in together before we even got married. It was like a year or so into our relationship, and I'm not gonna lie, I was still kind of living like a bachelor. I was still trying to, when I was done with work, I was still in my routine, basically. So whenever I was done with work, I'm like, all right.
What does that mean, your routine?
My routine was, if I didn't go out on the weekends, during the weekdays, I just stayed in the crib. Like, it didn't matter. So I work from 8 to 4:30. When I was done with work, I'm on the game. So, like, you can catch me playing the game from 4:30 until I go to bed. And a lot of times I stayed up, like, past midnight. And y'all know too, because like I used to stream and stuff, and I used to be up like real late nights, and it ended up becoming a problem. And my
sounds like
my
what
wife,
I'm going through right now. This is wild.
Yeah.
Hey man, I just went through that thing too earlier this year, bro.
Okay, this is a grown man conversation.
Right. So my wife was like, I need some time. Like, you can't be doing this. I will never see you if you continue to do this. And I was like, you know what? Like, you're right. I need to limit my gaming. I don't need to be gaming as soon as I'm done with work. Like, I need to correctly balance my gaming time and my time that I'm spending with you. Because we always spend time on the weekends regardless. That's what we used to do before we moved in together, because we both work. So on the weekends, we usually hung out, or like sometimes during the week, we used to hang out before we moved in together. But when we moved in together, it was an adjustment period for me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to like maybe 2 days out of the week. That's my time after I'm done with work. I'm going to handle whatever business I do. We going to eat or whatever. But I'm going to hop in the room, and then I'm going to catch you whenever you sleep or whatever. But the other times, not like what you want to do. You want to watch some movies. You want to, go out to dinner or something. Like, you need to correctly balance that time in order to have a good relationship. The only real difference in my situation, and T-Bitch, you can attest to this as well, and you'll learn more once you get in further with your lady. But the fact that, we can make a little bit of money for this, and you're making a lot more money now from, which is essentially your job now. Even though we still play games a lot and, we're having fun, it's a sense of entertainment, it's a sense of escape, but we make money from it too. So our situation is a little bit different than like the average person. For the average person, yeah, you definitely should not be, gaming like that all the time, every day, all day. You got to have balance regardless. But for us, yeah, like I can justify, like right now, we got to do a podcast because we got advertisers that, we got to appease and we got to make this money. So it's different. I got to take the time. My lady knows that. But you got to communicate to them. There's still balance at the end of the day. I definitely don't play games as much as I used to because I have a kid now. So that's another thing that in my situation, you can't do. It's impossible. You got to be able to balance the time. So I'm severely limited any of my gaming time to Friday nights when, everybody is asleep. I'm gaming then. And sometimes on the weekends. And then like maybe one day, I'll stream like, in the afternoon or whatever when I'm done with work. But other than that, like it's not happening. You got to be able to correctly balance your gaming time or whatever that you choose for your hobby, because it's not just games. And that's another thing. I hate when women just single out video games as a problem. They see it as, you're not really doing anything productive. But I can say, again, going back to my specific situation, I'm making money from it. So you can't be like, oh, you're just wasting your life from playing video games. But even talking to the regular, average Joe who just want to play 2K or Call of Duty with his homies, that's what they like to do. And if they're sitting there playing the game all day, every day and not giving you attention, first of all, you got to communicate with them. And second of all, maybe you need to reevaluate what you're doing as a woman, as a significant other, as a wife, as to why he don't want to hang out with you, because it's obviously some underlying issues. So it really goes both ways. But I really hate this narrative that, dudes who play video games are basement dwellers and nerds and stuff, because it's always levels to it. I don't feel like I'm a super nerd. And I know that there are people who are like absolutely addicted to video games. And I know we talked about this on previous podcasts as well, when it comes to video games being classified as a illness, a mental illness now. And I can, see really why it can be, because some people are legit addicted and maybe they do need to get checked, because you can get really addicted to anything. It can become a vice, but the average person who just wants to escape, like you just need to communicate. Really, that's really comes down to, and then a lot of people just don't communicate. But I hate that shit, because I love playing video games. I've been playing video games all my life, and I'm not going to stop. But you just got to really learn that balance. And when my wife communicated that to me, I really just sat back and I was like, okay, I got to really balance the time. So that is what it is at that point. But I don't like that shit, bro.
This is ignorant for two reasons. One, I don't know if you remember, we actually did a podcast like a couple of years ago where we talked about this topic. I forgot what university it was, but they did a study revealing that like it was like 90% of gamers that are in a relationship are sexually satisfied. So they were making the argument that gamers are some of the best lovers. So this argument's completely ignorant. They don't know what they're talking about. And then two, in the title of the video, it's PS5 and video games from a female's perspective. That's also ignorant in itself, because it shows they don't know shit about gaming, because gaming is split almost down the middle this day and age. I believe it's 51% male, 48% female. I mean, just turn on fucking Twitch for half a minute. You will find plenty of women streaming the games. You hop into any lobby in a game, you'll hear women. Women are gaming. I mean, look at fucking Heaven. She's like masterclass in Overwatch. Like, what are you talking about, right? They don't know what they're talking about, and they're talking about from a female. No, you're just talking from an ignorant standpoint. Gaming has surpassed movies. It is the most powerful form of media. It is making the most money, especially with COVID going on. Companies are fucking killing it right now. And it's like, you could find you a quality man if you just kept yourself an open mind. But this is why these women are sitting on this couch, single, chuckling, the joke's on you, because like you're just missing a group of men that they're doing great things. Go ahead, Cass.
I just want to say, because you spoke about it, and I'm not in a relationship, but it seems like they're talking from the outside looking in.
Yep.
And also, what seems to be the main point is that it's not the gamer, like it's not the guy being a gamer is the issue. It's about the guy not having his priorities straight. He's not him balancing stuff, because that goes with that. To be honest, if you're gonna be a gamer, especially with us, what we've learned is that actually balance is like for everything in life. It's a big important thing that you need to do. Balancing out your time management when it comes to relationship. If you're gonna do anything, even if it's your hobby, which what they were talking about, the guys were just playing the video games. They weren't like making a job out of it. So yeah, it's about time management, and that is a personal. It's about the guy having the issue, not him being a gamer. I hate when like they generalize stuff, because that's been happening a lot, and I see it. And I should be quiet because I know it doesn't have to do with me. So
they're delusional. Like the chocolate chick, shout out to her, was the one was on the right. She
Olivia.
was saying Olivia. She was saying that she played GTA with her man GTA 5 during launch, and she found that it was a bonding experience, and they had a lot of fun. And it's like, yo, if the girls don't like your hobbies, that's a red flag. Do not change yourself trying to appease this chick or whatever. Like there's certain things you can compromise and improve on, but if that's what you genuinely enjoy, you shouldn't be selling yourself out for some damn pussy. It ain't that damn. And like I said, the joke's on them. They the ones that single and miserable. You said earlier though, Mel, you had some insight on this. Like you had to deal with something similar. Like, what your thoughts on this?
Oh yeah. I'll say right when quarantine first started, like me and my girl, we started talking about like a year and a half ago. So, to me, she's my last one. I'm about to be 25. It's time to settle down and everything to me. So when quarantine first started, she came and she stayed with me with my family and everything. And pretty much I was in that mindset where I was like, hey, I'm gonna take this as a vacation or whatever. So, and pretty much like me, what I was doing, because my job, I never really got to do it. I was like, I'm just play some games and stuff. And to her, she was just like, man, this dude just sitting here, stinking up the joint, whatever, just playing games all day, every day. And I'm just like, I mean, there's nothing else to do. It's quarantine, you feel me? And it's when quarantine first started. And we got into a lot of arguments over that. And she ended up leaving me. And that kind of hurt me. And then it made me think like, bro, you do kind of got to get your priorities straight, because you playing the game a little bit too much. She just wants attention. And I'm like, just what's wrong with just giving her attention? She wants to go outside sometime for a walk, sit outside, get a little buzz and everything, looking at the stars and stuff. There's nothing wrong with taking like
It sounds just like my situation.
Break. Yeah, exactly. Like when I was watching your video, I was like, dang, man. I was like, this sounds exactly like what I was going through. She was pretty much like, she was crying and stuff. She was getting real pissed off. She was, and I was just like, man, I was like, bro, I'm trying. And then that's another thing that I was trying to do is I started my YouTube channel, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to take advantage of this time that I never had. So I started doing that. And she was just kind of like, man, you just focusing on this all the time, and you're not even focusing on anything else. And I was just like, she's right. And I was like, and like my mom started kind of saying it too. She was like, you got to kind of have a life outside of just doing YouTube and playing games and stuff. And I was like, y'all right. And even with me before, having her and stuff, I started to feel in myself. I was like, when I get me a girl, I know that I can't really play multiplayer games like that, because I tried to do that when I was staying with my dad a few years ago. And every single time I would play like my team or whatever on 2K, he will always come in my room and be like, hey man, we got to go do something. So I was like, well, that was just a waste of time, and I just lost the game. And it was just like every time. So I was just like, I'm not going to play multiplayer games when I get in a relationship. And I find it as a good learning experience, because when me and her actually do get a place together, I know exactly what to do now. And I say that I thank her, and I thank, the experience, because I'm like, this is something that you got to learn to better yourself. Sometimes you got to have those ups and those downs, to, learn what to do in the future. And, this is a quote that I found out, for like some of the women who still like, oh, I don't want my man playing no games in general, because my girl's kind of like that. She wants me to just be on my hustle 24/7. And I tried to tell her like earlier today, before we even did the podcast, I was talking to her and I was just like, hey, I understand the things that we was going through earlier this year, but I want to let you know, one of the reasons why I was doing what I was doing is because I was trying to take this time to like learn the hustle and build my hustle up for this YouTube and with my acting career and stuff like that. So when I actually do start getting back working, everything can just come easily and just come natural. And I like I can start to manage my time a lot better. And she kind of understood that. But there's this quote that learned this year from the late great Patrice O'Neal. For some of the women who are kind of still ignorant on the whole situation, he said it's always hard. He said it's hard for a man to get a woman, but he said it's even harder for a woman to keep a man. And I'll just end it right there.
And I say I say that to say, freaking, if it's really such an issue, instead of getting on the podcast and yickety yakking and shit, you could just talk to your partner. Because at the end of the day, I don't think any gamer hides the fact that they're a gamer. Like, when you got into that situation, that relationship, whatever it was with that gamer, you knew who he was, and it's like he's not going to change that part of his personality. That's his hobby. That's what he genuinely enjoys. So like, that's a communication issue. And they're sitting there yickety yakking and shit. And it's like, just communicate that with that person if you really love that person. And I'm sure if that person loves you, they'll work on themselves and trying to find that balance instead of trying to make a joke out of everything and making people seem like losers and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then when it comes to, a man's hobby, if we talk about what women do, which a lot of them don't have hobbies, because shopping and watching TV is not a hobby.
And doing your makeup for an hour and a half.
And you want us to be excited about that shit.
Yeah, but that's fine, right? We don't talk about it because we know that's what a lot of you like to do. We deal with it, we tolerate it, and we'll be like, all right, that's cool. I'll watch a movie with you. You can go shopping, whatever, spend your money, spend my money. It's fine, right? Get your Birkin bag, whatever that you're into. It doesn't matter. We don't trip off of it. So I don't think that it's cool for a lot of women to not like a hobby of video games when there could be a multitude of things that we could be doing. I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear about us going to the club and possibly, picking up a little shorty and cheating on you. Fucking these bitches, doing drugs, drinking and stuff, and dying out here, being out here in these streets. So if you actually have a dude that games and loves the game, you actually should be pretty happy, because we could be doing a lot worse. But again, if you are feeling some type of way, ladies, talk to your man. It's not that hard. Explain to him your feelings and work it out, because take it from me and take it from Mel and take it from TBH. This is what we've all either went through or are going through right now. It all takes communication and balance.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Communication is the main thing that breaks up relationships. Like the reason somebody cheats on somebody, or the reason somebody leaves somebody in the first place, is because they don't communicate. Either they don't communicate enough, or they don't communicate good enough for the other person to realize, okay, this is what I need to do, or this is what I need to stop doing, or something like that. So I try to talk to my girl like at least once a month, and I'll be like, all right, so like, how are you doing? And I'll be like, is there anything that you feel like that I can do better on, or anything you feel like I need to chill out on, or something like that, just so I can learn exactly what we need to work on in our relationship during that time. Because, I ain't trying to lose this one.
Also, that's real shit. Also, just to kind of end this, for the ladies who are listening and that are dealing with something like their dude's a gamer or whatever, and they're not a big gamer, know that the average gamer these days is 35 years old. Gaming is not going anywhere. And now that there's more money in the industry than ever, there's more dude, like you said, like Mel's trying to get his YouTube popping. There are people out here hustling, trying to make money on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, being a pro gamer. This is actually something that I had, and you women want us to be on our hustle. So it's like JG said, we could be doing something else in these damn streets. This is actually something I brought up, that pisses me off, during my Black History Month, little panel that I did. I was saying one of the reasons that like we as Black people are behind is because we often discourage each other of things that's not quote unquote normal for Black people, I guess. And I was like,
exactly.
And I was like, I'm talking to all the parents in the audience right now, because I saw a lot of babies, a lot of kids in there. I was like, real shit. I was like, stop discouraging your child if they want to be a pro gamer. I was like, if they're serious about it, or they want to be a game developer, if they're serious about it, if my child wants to be a pro Fortnite player, as long as his grades are straight, who am I to tell him no, bro? Let him do what he do, because it's money in this shit. And then y'all sit here and y'all complain that we're behind the hustle or whatever. And it's like, some of y'all women got to know it's money in this shit. Stop discouraging your kids to do this shit is what I would say.
Exactly. It feels like a lot of people feel like the only way to hustle is through the streets or something. And I'm like, no, there's other way to hustle.
Playing basketball and rapping, bro.
Basketball or rapping.
Exactly.
We're good on
and then we complain that we are marginalized in every other industry. Well, how about we get into these industries and start investing in it?
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I'm learning on investing myself. You know, my friend, he keep telling me to get into Bitcoin, and I see it's rising and stuff. You know, and I'm like, hey, I might have to go ahead and get up in there.
Yeah, PayPal actually just said that you can buy Bitcoin as well as a bunch of other cryptocurrency. You can buy it through PayPal now, so you don't have to have like Coinbase. They made it easier, and that solidifies it basically. So it's like maybe y'all should be paying attention because a big financial institution like PayPal is doing it. Start paying attention, folks. Start paying attention.
Yeah, because it's going to happen again, and basically the cycle is going to continue if we don't get into these industries. Because I'm really tired of the complaining and the whining, and then we're going to end up being behind again. And then we're going to say that we're being oppressed. And it's going to continue the cycle if we don't get into these industries.
Ladies, let your man play the game. So many positive things can happen from it. It's wild we got into this whole conversation from that. But that's what we do here on GI. That's all I got on my show notes. Does anybody else want to add anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I'll just add off what you said. Yeah. Let him play the game, and then he'll play with the cat later. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
I love the box.
I'll add one more thing to it. Yo, if you want to get your man excited, like we were saying earlier, actually indulge in the gaming with it. Like, yo, if my girl pull up and she's like, yo, I'm about to beat your ass in Mario Kart, play Mario Kart with your man. He gonna love that shit, bro. You gonna get fucked right that night. Like, oh, she want to play with me. Like, let's go.
It might turn into like a Netflix and chill type thing. I might just stop playing in the middle of the damn game.
Get excited about what your man is excited about, ladies.
Exactly. And all about you. You can't be complaining, but then not putting any effort towards your man.
Y'all gonna make that shit a game.
Oh, yes, exactly. I agree with that one a lot.
Bam. There it is. All right, well, this has been Gaming Illuminati, episode 109. You are our host, Mel. You got the floor. What's your closing statement for episode 109? Go.
Oh, no, man. I really appreciate it that I finally get the opportunity to be on this show. You know, I've watched it, over the years. And like I said, I appreciate y'all for letting me be on here. It was it was quite enlightening, and I definitely had a fantastic time, and I hope everybody's doing good with the the Rona and staying safe at home, and I hope everybody's finding themselves, because that's pretty much the time that we need to do right now. Find ourselves.
For sure. And if you guys enjoyed Mel, make sure to check the description box on the video version at youtube.com/theblack-Hokage. His social media links will be in there. What's the name? Man, whatever, we eat those. Shout out to Chaos. Chaos, what's your closing statement for episode 109? Go.
Yeah, I got a couple things to say. I appreciate it. Make sure you put in the comments that you'll bring back Chaos. I want to come back. Shout out to y'all. Go follow the GI YouTube channel. I stream on my Twitch, and I meant to bring this up in the beginning, but if you stayed, that means you're a true supporter, and I appreciate y'all. Go and follow the GI TikTok. Just made it. I'm gonna be putting out videos pretty soon. GI updates. That is a page. Pretty simple, just how it sounds. That's pretty much it. I appreciate Ethos for being absent today.
Oh shit! Matter of fact, if you made it to this part of the podcast, comment in the video in the comment section and say where is Ethos if you made it to this part of the podcast. JJ, you got the floor. What's your closing statement for episode 109? Go.
All right. Appreciate everybody for listening / watching another episode. We do have merch out right now. So by the time you're listening to this, we have the rain jackets that are out right now. Streamlabs.com/merch/GI updates or GI updates /merch. I always forget what it is. But just go to Streamlabs, search GI updates, and you'll see it. And we have some more things coming. You all have been very, very excited about it. And have been copying the rain jackets and droves and showing us your pictures and stuff, man. Y'all are actually very talented, and y'all are looking good, man. Like I said, them GI rain jackets are fire, and y'all are making them look real good. So I appreciate y'all, man, for all that y'all been doing. And we got some more stuff coming as far as merch is concerned as well. And I also want to say I will my wife's ass in Mario Kart all the time. So she really enjoys playing games. That's one thing that we do to bond besides watching movies and stuff. So like I said, man, just play some games with your girl, man. Just hopefully she's interested in that stuff, or make her get interested, because if you a gamer, then like I said, it ain't going nowhere. So just, hope that y'all find that, that bonding time with your significant other. Other than that, man, that's pretty much it.
I think for my closing statement, I was gonna say, for the women that are struggling with their games, I feel like maybe some of y'all are ignorant to how vast and how many different genres there are in games. Maybe you're not interested in Grand Theft Auto and 2K, because I know that's what a lot of black men play. But there might be something that you're interested in, because I remember with my ex, she thought anime was fucking stupid. And like, I didn't appreciate that she would always put that down, but I was like, yo, I think you don't like anime because you're ignorant to how vast it's an entire genre with subgenres. So then she was like, nah, what are you talking about? She's like, I seen Naruto, like clips of it, believe it, that's stupid. Long story short, I introduced her to Death Note, and she binged the whole thing like a weekend. She became addicted. She's like, all right, what's next? She started watching My Hero. She eventually gave Naruto a chance, and she liked that shit. And it's like, you just got to be put onto the right. I refuse to believe you hate every fucking game out there. You just got to be put onto the right thing. So embrace your man's hobbies. I would say that's the closing statement for episode 109.
Bro, I know so many women that love like The Sims and stuff, or mobile games. Like those are video games as well. Like they love them. So I 100% agree with what TBA just said.
There it is. And once again, we appreciate you guys listening. If you're listening on Apple, please rate the show 5 stars. It helps us move up the algorithm. And other than that, appreciate you listening. We'll see you guys on the next episode of the Game and Illuminati podcast. Peace.